Koron is one of my favorite players on KGS. He is excellent at living in small places and, killing in large places. And we're going to see that in this game. He's going to show us how to use Big Bend. So we have a plain vanilla kind of opening. Nothing strange here. And now something a little strange. It's not quite blitz, it's a fast game. It's a little strange for black to play here. It's a very common place to play, but it's a little early in the game to play it. Later on, white will want to come here. This is said to be a point for erasing black's potential to expand in that area. So it's a common point, but it's a little unusual to see it played by black this early. But I think black has a special idea. So what does white do? White says, oh ho, I see that R11 is a third line stone, and one way you punish third line stones is to push them down to the third line, prevent them from expanding. So white plays on the shoulder. The shoulder hits a very common approach to the third line stone, and then he uses another common follow-up, the one point jump lightly away. But now black uses his special strategy. Instead of continuing to make territory on the right side, he says, I'm going to surround it all. And even if I don't succeed, I'm going to make points on the bottom. So what does white do? White uses the Big Bend. And you can think of this as a simple one-point jump to the center with an extra stone of support. And black says, my position is strong. I don't care if I get cut, so I can attack using the small knight's move. Yes, it's a cuttable shape, but I don't care if you cut me here because my position is stronger than yours. So white says, okay, well, I better link up my shapes together and make two Big Bends, joins together. White does a little bit of Dan magic in this game. Black says, I surround you. White says, can I come out this way? And black says, I'm going to make another nice move, which is faster than your O10 running away. Notice that the two small knight's moves actually reinforce each other. They help prevent any kind of cut because they help each other. So white says, the easiest place to make eyes is the corner. The second easiest place to make eyes is the side. Will you let me get to the side and make eyes? Okay, where's the point that white would like to go next to make an eye? Where does black play? I break your shape. And white says, okay, you played my shape point. Will you let me capture R7? Black says, no. Will you let me make an eye on the edge? Not today, maybe next Tuesday. There's another break. This is an empty triangle, but it breaks white's shape. Will you let me run away to the top? And now black says, I'm going to lean on your group, and I'm going to hope that you do what people normally do locally when black would play moves like O16. The normal move would be to go here. But white says, hey, that's not important. Making my group live is important. So I threaten to cut your shape here, and black captures a stone, and white gets a few free forcing moves. Black says, it's okay though, because I can cut you. See? And my cutting stone looks like it can be captured, but not if I play another move there. And white says, okay, I can't capture your cutting stone, but then again, I've got two eyes. And it sort of happened by magic. But white used forcing moves that were multiple purpose moves. They threatened to do more than one thing. And he made good shape. And suddenly he's got two eyes, as if by magic. But like they say in the commercials, now how much would you pay? But wait, there's more. Because white, Koron, has made life in an incredibly small space. He's going to do it again. Black captures the stone to remove all the aji. White comes back to make the normal move on top. And now where should black go? And if you were to simply count the spaces on the left and on the top is wider and the top is on the 4th line, this is on the 3rd line, so that if you were to draw just a box, the top side is bigger than the left side. Furthermore, white's got 2 very strong stones on the left side. So black says, no, I'm not going to go on the left side. I'm going to jump in the bigger area. Was O15 necessary? O15, obviously, no, I understand. I'm trying to avoid some kinds of questions. I'm trying to duck them so I can focus on shape. It's a good question. Obviously, it hurts the 3 white stones in the center, and it also may make it easier for black to invade the top. He's trying to avoid letting white get too strong too quick, and white has a weakness still at P17. But that's the best I can answer for you. You may be right. It may be slow. But I'm going to duck that question. What black's really interested in doing isn't in capturing those 3 stones. What black's really interested in doing is invading the top side. So having a strong stone at O16 will probably help that. I think that's why he did that. It's a lot easier to attack if your existing groups are not merely alive, but are fighting strength, fighting machines. So he kept O16 strong because I think it helped his invasion. That's the best answer I can give you. So black invades. White touches him. Unusual. This helps white center 3 stones. And black defends the cut, killing the Aji at P17. This also, in addition to defending the cut, limits the kind of base that black can make in that direction. Imagine if black had played at N18 instead. Black would have a nice base while threatening cutting. So black extends here in order to get some room for a base. White says, in your face. Black says, okay, fine, in my face, but I'm healthy. My group on top is healthy. I can make another move for points. And white says, you're healthy, huh? Prove it. White peeps black. Before connecting, threatens to capture the 2 stones. Then he connects. And white begins to surround black. Black comes out, and white hits the vital point. Whoa, scary beans. Black connects to avoid the cut, and white strengthens his 3 stones. Black comes out, and in the process, is again threatening those stones. And this is aggressive, but white knows what he's doing. Black is now completely surrounded. Black has to either make eyes or kill something. So first he threatens to kill something. And the next move looks a little strange. Not that next move, this next move. Yeah, it's an empty triangle. It's an empty triangle, but it's almost, not quite, it's almost the formation known as the crane's nest. So this defended the cut at H12, and black is aiming at H15. But white hits him in his weakness. You made an empty triangle. I know what to do with empty triangles. Black threatens to push and cut. He does push and cut. Will you let me make 2 eyes? No. Okay, then I'm going to cut you. White says, I'm threatening to capture your 2 stones. Black runs away, and white goes Atari. And this is a forcing move also, because if black does nothing, white can capture. So black's not going to do nothing. Black will do something. And he goes here, and white says, oh, by the way, well, first I'm going to threaten to capture that entire clump of black stones. Black is forced into an empty triangle, gritting his teeth. He doesn't like having to make this move. And white goes, by the way, did you notice I've got 2 eyes again? Ta-da! I'm completely surrounded. It's a really tiny space, but I've got 2 eyes. So that's kind of cool. And it's even cooler yet because at J10, J10 is a forcing move, but it's not really vital for either side, right? He's still going to have to come back and make this. You know the 1, 2, 3 theory, Rimgautus? If you're going to have to play move 3 eventually anyway, and 1 and 2 aren't necessary, don't bother with them. That's essentially why he doesn't play H10. H10 is a forcing move. It doesn't really do a lot of good things for white. It doesn't do a lot of damage for black. It could be used as a co-threat. Well, you're keeping your eye focused, Gorich, and I'm glad to see that. White just made life with his A group, but the B group is completely surrounded and hasn't made 2 eyes. So again, he's got to either make 2 eyes or kill something. And that's what Gorich is focusing on. So first he says, will you let me connect out? Of course not. Then he plays Gorich's move. Will you let me make 2 eyes? Not today. Will you let me make 2 eyes? Forcing move. And rejection. No 2 eyes. We switch scenes here for a minute, and black senses that white is aiming at P18. He protects that. And black says, will you let me have a ko to make 2 eyes? No ko for you. Will you let me break out? And I won't let you kill my corner neither. So black makes a group on the side, and now black is threatening white's center stones. If black can kill white's center stones, then black's top group will live. White makes good shape, a half table shape. Black says, my position is strong. I'll use an attacking small knight move, even though it's cuttable shape. And now, Rimgautus, white plays J10 in order to get extra liberties. Now it means something. It is a capturing race. Well, it's not a capturing race unless, can white live in the center? If not, then it's a capturing race. And black says, how about you give me something in the corner, or otherwise I will get free moves on the outside. Because after all, what I really am interested in doing is killing your center group. So black gets some free forcing moves on the outside, and then says, I'm going to kill you. And white says, not today, not next November. I don't need to make 2 eyes. Black says, I steal your eye. White says, I don't care. All I need is liberties. So now let's talk about liberties for a minute, because this is a good time. If you don't know about big eyes, let me tell you a bit about big eyes. If you have a group and it's got space inside of 1, 2, or 3 spaces, that is a small eye group. If it is 4 spaces or more inside, it's called a big eye group. And if the shape is a dead or killable shape, and you've got 4 or more liberties, just how many liberties do you have? How many moves does it take for your opponent? We call them liberties, but how many moves does it take for your opponent to kill you? There's an excellent article, by the way, at Sensei's library on this. And what it will tell you, I will just use it as shorthand here, is that if you have a 4-space group, it takes 5 moves to kill you. If you have a 5-space group, it takes 8. If you have a 6-space group, it takes 12. If you have a 7-space group, it takes 17 moves before you die. So Black's top group has some outside liberties, right? But we're going to ignore those for the moment and look just at the inside liberties. He started off with a 6-space group, which would be the equivalent of 12 liberties. It takes 12 moves to kill it once you've eliminated all the outside liberties. But on the other hand, of those 12 moves, white has already played 4 stones inside. So 12 minus 4 is 8. Black has the equivalent of 8 liberties inside. And he's got 2 liberties on the outside, plus the possibility of a ko at E19. Is that all clear? Some of you guys may not know about big eyes, so I didn't want to go through that too fast. Because this is now a capturing race. So the number of, that's my shorthand for it. If you've got a group with 4 inside liberties that can't make 2 eyes, it takes 5 moves for your opponent to kill you. 4 spaces, 5 moves to kill. So you could say, speaking loosely, that you had 5 liberties, the equivalent of 5 liberties. If you have a 5-space group, it would take 8 moves to kill you. Black says, I'm going to kill you. You can't make 2 eyes. Without the ko, Black has 8 liberties on the inside. He's got 2 outside liberties. But the idea I was trying to get to Gorge was, this is a 6-space group. I've numbered them 1 to 6. But of those 6, White has already played 4 stones. Black's dead. Black can't make 2 eyes. But how many liberties is it going to take? That's my question, Gorge. And it's a big-eyed group with 6 spaces, and we know that this is worth 12 liberties on the inside, but White has already taken up 4 of them with the 4 stones. 12 minus 4 is 8. Black's got 2 liberties on the outside, plus the equivalent of 8 liberties on the inside. Okay? It's all about liberty counting at this point, which is why I tried to spend that much time on it. So White doesn't care that his outside center group doesn't have 2 eyes. He only cares that it has enough liberties. So White gets more liberties. White fixes the ko. White doesn't care if Black captures 2 stones. So Atari, fine. I'm just going to stay connected, and I got a ton of liberties on the outside. In fact, I've got so many liberties that when you take out some of my outside liberties, I can tanuki, because I've got so many liberties. Black says, I'm going to keep taking your liberties. And White says, okay, if I got to show you, I'll show you. And at this point, Black loses on time, but it doesn't make any difference. The top Black group cannot make 2 eyes, and it has exactly the equivalent of 8 liberties, 8 moves for White to kill the top Black group. How many liberties does White have? Black can't kill White fast enough, because Black has only the equivalent of 8 liberties for his top group. See? That's why the number of liberties was important. So at this point, Black lost on time, but he could have just as easily resigned. He lost. Clear to everybody? They're not big enough. The outside moves may have some value, but the big Black top group is dead. White's connected. White's got 3 corners. Yeah, you know, it's not sure. You know, you might get another point by playing at number 2, but you know, it's not worth enough.